Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? Once again, I'm Ned from Nestack Bets, otherwise known as your friendly neighborhood basement dweller. Don't worry, ma'am, I am from the internet. Well, y'all were out there having fun, partying, hitting the scenes, getting educated, finding a job, being successful. I was watching everything, everywhere, to find out what meaning was, to find out what the 0 point was for everything, so I could move on from there. And because of that, I don't like hanging out with people. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I'm not social. I'm not antisocial, but I'm not social. I don't like people. I love humanity, but I don't trust people. I have very good reasons not to trust humanity, though I love humanity. And as you watch humanity can be a lot like ants. You get so many different kinds of ants that do things differently. And then you get the same kind of ant that kind of does things a little bit differently, even though it's the same species. And that's one thing I want to talk about within our society. It definitely seems like in 2025, we are set for some kind of a downward spiral, and everyone seems to be into it. Oh man, we're we need a Theodore Roosevelt within our situation these days. We need strong leaders to be there for the proletariat. We need the average individual to understand what the frick a proletariat is. So here's the thing, in any general society, even grade school, you got your proletariat on the bottom who's just whatever. You get your bourgeoisie in the middle who have a little bit of power, and then you get your royalty on the top who can do no wrong ultimately. Generally, the royalty has all of the money. Generally, they were born into a good position. Not always, not always. Sometimes not quite that way, but definitely seeing it, noticing it. Society has changed. 2025, we are on our head right now. And with Western society, I'm not sure about South American society. I'm not sure about African societies, but I know one thing for absolute sure is that when it comes to Western societies, the internet has absolutely changed it. It's changed it from the flow up. And though the progressives say that everything is based off white people colonization and whatnot, when I look at the weddings that we have, I see very little of God in it, the Christian Judeo Yahweh. I don't see a whole lot of that in there. And it seems like since the advent of birth control, the definitions of relationships have radically changed. And the laws were created through colonization, through situations where everyone wanted sexy time. Everyone wanted sexy time. And you couldn't abort them because Roman Catholic, Catholicism, and all this kind of stuff, and legitimately, they probably didn't even have a good way to do it without getting anyone sued until like the last 20 years, let's face it. I don't want to get into that. Don't tell me. I don't want to hear about technology about doing that. Please don't tell me. But yeah, and it's changed everything. So it used to be to the point where we had evil men that just wanted things for themselves. I think we can all say that. And then women that just got abandoned. Now we legitimately have women who are counting beans, who are counting how much money they can get from the government if they are single. Not thinking, how would it improve my family or ruin my family if I had children, or if I had the father of my children here with me? We are in a society that does not value the father. It doesn't even know what the value of a father is. It totally just kind of thinks that women should be raising kids and men should be out there working. Now, at the same time, the people running us have seemed to have given us the idea both mom and dad should both be out working. Who's going to watch the kids? Yes, maybe two people can have careers, but who's going to watch the kids? Who's going to watch the kids? And we seem to have gotten ourselves into a financial situation where nobody's worried about the kids. Nobody's worried about the family. Nobody's worried if the family can handle the kids. Nobody worries if the family can afford afford the kids. Nobody's worried if the family can have this, that, or the other thing, because other countries do it. Other countries find a way. It should be okay here. But legitimately, we have a lot of situations where, like in Canada, foreign buyers are buying our land and man, just making money hand over fist. And let's say the S&P 500, you don't have to be American to buy into the S&P 500. It very much looks like globalists have got together and, in the disguise of globalism, decided that all the money deserves to be somewhere else other than America. But all the money seems to be in America at the people at the top who aren't really worried about America or Canada and is more worried about their own personal money than they are about globalism, about their own country. And I think it's time that we start emancipating these people from their countries. There are absolutely people that money as much as they like religion, and we all know that people will throw their country down in for their religion. There are many people that would throw down Canada. Like legitimately, look at the news and see how many protesters are burning Canadian flags. The numbers exploded. It's exploded. It's hundreds of times much more than it used to be. What I'm trying to say is society has changed everywhere. Society has changed more radically recently than technology. And that is absolutely not a stretch to say. But at the same time, it's amazing because technology has come so far recently. And that's what's getting me to the point. Don't marry. Don't marry. We can't handle it. Our women can't handle it. I don't think our men can really handle it either. Because it used to be that you were together forever. Now those words that you say are just lies. They're just lies. You're not with that person forever. Nobody really thinks they'll be with that person forever. And let's say we actually make that, when we are with that person, we change as human beings at least every 5 years. I mean, one of my biggest heartbreaks was about a girl in high school, and man, we thought we were great. We were great. We were progressive. We were all this stuff. And like as soon as she went off to university, I shouldn't, more or less, let's say, oh, I'm skimming over a lot, but there's a lot of people that, this breaks my heart. It's like, man. There's a lot of people who are only as faithful. Most people are only as faithful as their options, and when you get people around new people, they cheat like that. I'm just thinking about. And in times of war, too, it was the same. Sometimes I wonder if we were ever able to stay with the same one person. Like, I don't know many people who've managed to be in a relationship without cheating. Like, if you really look at it really close. So what I'm saying is, this really breaks my heart to say, but the idea of marriage is unconscionable these days. The women getting married these days, they know they're not going to be with that person forever. They know that that's a fairy tale that they say. And sometimes it flat out bothers me when people go to their religious organizations and tell their God that they will be submissive to their husband when they know damn well they won't be. What, are they just there for money then? That's frickin' disgusting. Like, I don't even believe in these religions, but I'd have to have a lot of money. I'd have to have a lot of money. Then again, I'm not in that situation, so I don't really know. But man, sometimes it just seems like religion is just a bunch of people wearing masks. Masquerade, painted faces on parade, masquerade. Look again, there's another mask behind you. That's the dating scene too. I heard you on the phone last night. We live and die by pretty lies, you know it. So seriously. Seriously, we live and die by pretty lies. I know so many women who cheated on their husband with guys at work that they're like, oh, this is awesome. I like this guy. He hears me. He's on my side. And we don't like to talk about how often women cheat with guys like that. It's like railroading. It's and women will never say, oh no, it'll oh jeez, I'm sorry. It's just it breaks my heart to think about how many times I've heard of this happening. Relationships breaking up because of things at work. It really fucking breaks my heart. Women going to work, finding guys that they like. Sometimes it works. A lot of times it doesn't. A lot of times it doesn't. Guys, don't get married. Don't get married. This new society with technology is horrific within relationships. We're just kind of waking up to the realities that women have. We're coming from a reality thinking women are all this good stuff, and then coming to a reality where we're like, oh, women are like that. They're just like guys. And they have the potential for evil. If you guys are watching this after 2025, there's one thing I really got to drive home to you that's going on right now that we're getting away from slowly. Women could not be wrong in 2023. LGBTQ people could not be wrong in 2023. In 2025, nobody's calling John Money out for the stuff that he did. Nobody's calling John Money out but me. Maybe like one or two YouTubers. We're going to look back and we're going to see how messed up that stuff was. You ever look back at the 20s, 30s, 40s and see like, wow, some messed up stuff that happened. Why were they like that? Guys, like legitimately, the women are telling on themselves right now. No, I am not an incel. I'd get it if I wanted it. You know what I want more than sexy time? I'd love some cuddles. But legitimately, in 10 years from now, we're going to look back on this and be horrified by what we see right now. There's a monster that came out of social media. Social media primarily run by females in X, like Twitter, X, and all those things. And we got a little bit of a snake following, eating its own tail. So Twitter, X, all of these things is like this. Cosmopolitan. They're blaming men. They're like, oh, men want you to look like this. Men aren't buying Cosmopolitan. If you look through here, you see a lot of interesting things. I see a lot of vanity. When I look at TikTok, I see a lot of vanity. When I look at X, I see a lot of vanity. Guys, these apps, vanity. And victim mentality. So much victim mentality. Guys, there's so much victim mentality now in like the dating market and generally all around that if you're not connected to oppression, then you are a bad person. And it's really sad. Don't get married in 2025. Society in the West is messed up. It is messed up. And I don't recommend talking to your neighbors. I don't recommend talking to your neighbors anymore. There was a time when my friends were like, oh, we don't know our neighbors. I'm like, I always know my neighbors. So at the end of my relationship, my ex-wife said that I could leave because the neighbors would help and the community would help. So I went and I asked every member of the community, is that right? Did you say I could leave and you would take over? Are you prepared to raise my children? Well, everyone was a little bit horrified that I asked the question. And then my ex-wife said, you are a narcissist and you disconnected me from my friends. Well, the fact of the situation was, I am not going to leave my family until I know that there is nothing I can do to make this thing better, and that I know that they are being taken care of. I didn't walk away from my family. But what I found out quite quite soon after that is a lot of the men that apparently left their family, left their children, were told to leave by their wife, were forced out by their wife, were told to leave. And for some reason, they just did. Like little cowardly bitches. They just left. They just left. And like, oh, this pain, this sadness is beautiful, maybe, so I'm just gonna go, And like, we can't be doing that, guys. So if we do that, here's the route that it's going to go. Here's the route that it's going to go. You want to go down that sadness, victimology, things are beautiful. Guys, that works for women. No one cares unless you're pretty or dying, but suicide doesn't work into that dying thing. So anyways, there was a woman that, I remember, oh, this hurts to say, this hurts to talk about. Jeez, what is that? It isn't until I make these videos, like, I can think things and it runs through my head, and I can, like, so that, but when I say it, it makes me want to cry sometimes. Okay, so when me and my ex were in this certain apartment, we'd look out our back window, and there's clearly someone who babysit a lot of kids. Kids just freaked me out back then. I got my own now. They're actually, that's why I got the door closed. But anyways, I love my kids. I love my kids. But anyways, I love my kids. Anyways, there was a whole bunch of kids. They're always playing back there. Trampoline, lots of stuff. And all of a sudden, no more kids. What happened? So I start asking around. And I find out that the place was sold. The gentleman had hung himself in the basement. What? So, you know, small town, you don't ask. You don't ask. You kind of wait until things get to you. And then after a certain amount of time, information reaches me. And then the full story reaches me. The woman was babysitting, but she ends up finding somebody at work. Now, that's one thing that I want you to keep in mind. Women finding someone at work that they will complain to and say, oh, my husband, this problem, that problem. The guy at work just wants to bang him. And I'm not even sure if the guy at work knows that. But there's one thing reviewers have taught me pretty quickly is that it is easy to down someone. It's not easy to bring somebody up. And if you complain to a dude, I'm sorry, you know what you're doing. You freaking know what you're doing. Men do it too. You know what you're freaking doing. Work wives are abusive to children. If you have a work husband, a work wife, you might as well be abusing your children. If you're pursuing a relationship with someone at work, if you are pursuing a relationship with someone at work and they have children, you might as well be abusing them. I'm not even going to say what kind of abuse, but it's the kind of abuse that gets inside of you and you can't wash it off. It sits in here and it festers and it doesn't go away and it stays in the children's head until they're adults. And then it festers and it grows, and then sometimes it creates demons in their head. Like, the demons aren't real, right? Right? Okay. If you screw around with somebody's lover and they love them, that puts emotions in them that basically possesses them to the point where they are no longer them anymore. They're basically demons. They are possessed by a demon. Do you get me? Do you get me? So let those demons stay there, and they fester, and they go out there, and they grow. That demon's going to come back one of these days. You're not going to know anything about it. And it's all from you screwing around at work. There's so many people. Oh, there's so many people that screw around at work. There's so many people that screw around at work. And since we have our brains in the collective gutter when it comes to truth and honor and personal, like what you need, we're in a bad spot, guys. Might want to start being passport bros. Anyways, that's it for me, folks. Have a good one. Take care of each other, legitimately. Take care of each other. Have a good one.